Hey guys, WLJK back. Just quick minor update as I check something real quick. Okay. Nothing really gaming wise to update on, except for one major thing. I did some testing, and you may notice at the end of this video, I usually have the splash with the outro with all the links, as well as the links in the description. There is a change. And I shall explain the change here as I fade in and out of bright and dark. As many of my past followers know, the WLJK comes from my initials. First of which being William. If you follow me on Twitter, you know what my last name is. So I've been checking into a couple things. Now, the YouTube page is fine. The Twitch is fine. Steam is fine. Now, I was a little concerned, and I looked into it, and there could have been a slight possibility, but I decided to make the change on my own so that I did not come across a problem. Now, you might go, well, what would be the problem? It just so happens that the initials, WLJK, is also, and many of you may have noticed, remember this from my earlier posts, is also the call letters to a radio station in South Carolina here in the United States. Now, to prevent any conflict, because I've already come across a couple things, the radio station, the reason my Twitter is not just WLJK is because the radio station grabbed the grabbed that account and is sitting on it and not using it. So I can't use it. So basically what I did is I put a underscore after the initials. It's just a minor thing. I could have put a number. I could have put another word. Actually, another part of the reason is I turn around and I turn around and observe the live streams of Wolf 21 and Luckland and Dorky Girl Plays and stuff. And I interact in the chat. Now, it was making it a little hard for Wolf and them to turn around, because the L and the J, first off, the way Twitch's chat is, you can have the first letter capitalized and everything else, even if you have the name as a capital. Like, for instance, the screen name is capital WLJK, all caps, underscore. Okay. It doesn't show that way in the chat. So you got capital W, lowercase l, j, and k, and it looks like IJK or JIK, and it was a little hard. So I was trying to experiment. Part of it was due to the radio station. Part of it was because I accidentally canceled that account. And unfortunately, you cannot get that account. You can't get it back once you cancel it. So to make it that, I figured, I was trying different things. I mean, I've turned around, I've signed into other sites as like WLJK 5150, but the 5150 isn't that great for if you want to be well known, or you're going to be known by a lot of people, because it might give a wrong idea. Now, in case you don't know, 5150 is a code for the police of someone that went, okay. You don't really want that. So I thought, I've signed in on different sites under WLJK 316, which, if you're religious and you know John 3:16, that storyline, but also if you're a wrestling fan and watched Stone Cold Steve Austin, where it was Austin 3:16, I didn't want people to think I'm going to come in and whoop your ass. And excuse me for saying it that way. But so I couldn't figure, I even tried Willbot, which would have been Will short for William and Bot short for Autobots. That's taken. And putting Autobot Will, I didn't want to get into trademark issues with Hasbro because they have gone after people who have turned around and had Autobot in names on certain sites. So I'm just playing it safe. Okay. So it's still Twitch TV. It's still WLJK. It's just got the underscore added to it. I'll have the link down below. I know I had one follower. So hopefully if that person is still a subscriber, they turn around and see this. And it's taken care of. But, yeah, the other thing I found out about streaming, other than the fact that the hotter it gets, the harder it is to get bandwidth where I live. Because, give you an idea, it's 3 in the morning where I live. My little ticker over here says it's 68 degrees. Maybe if the wind would blow. I'm in the part of the U.S., I'm in Ohio, where the heat index has been over 100. Let's put it this way. I turned and sat around today and had nothing but empty Gatorade jugs filled with water that were turned into ice. I got about 7 or 8 of them in the freezer. So that's how my wife and I has been keeping cool. And with her, it's more important that I keep an eye on her to be cool because of the health issue she had. So the heat also affecting my internet. When I tested streaming a couple weeks ago when I put the air video up, I was able to stream at close to 900K per second. About 892-ish, I believe it was. Now I'm limited to that of what basic DSL is, so it's not looking pretty. Now, even with that speed, I could still stream. The quality would not be super great. But if you get into games like Minecraft, where it's very video intensive, or if you get into, let's say, hypothetically, Batman, Lego Batman, or even Batman Arkham City, where I would play it in a window in 720 and broadcast it, it would be very choppy. Frames would drop. The stream would freeze, and that wouldn't look good. So as of right now, the only game I have is Binding of Isaac that would get away with that. You might ask, okay, well, how can you get away with it? Real simple. Binding of Isaac is not real high graphic intensive. It is very, how shall we say, pliable, because you got varying different resolutions it plays at. So, and it doesn't, if you put in 720, it doesn't take up the whole screen. Okay, even if it goes in the regular 4:3 format. If you put it in 720, the game surface is still 4:3. They just add borders on the two sides. So it's looking to be Binding of Isaac soon. Now, here's the question I have for a lot of you guys, because I was originally going to stream this past weekend, or attempt to. Well, that's when I was starting to have these problems and this glitch. So what I am thinking of is not this weekend, because it's, the middle of the week's the 4th of July weekend. It's summer. I know a lot of families turn around and celebrate the 4th of July. Then they're like, let's take the weekend and take the kids somewhere. So I know a lot of you may not be home. So 2 things that I would really like to know. One, if you watch the video, please do this one little thing for me. Just mark where you're from and the time in your area, whether it's 8 p.m., but just turn around and put your area, whether you're from Europe, your time zone. Put your time zone in and tell me what time would be good for you. Now, I could turn around, I can stream. My best time for me to stream is after midnight on the East Coast in the U.S. Now, I know those in Europe, not bad. Those in the U.S., they're like, people are asleep. It's too late. I know there's a handful of diehards that are like me that will stay up late. So give me an idea of your guys' time zones, okay? And unfortunately, I know there's only going to be about 11 of you to watch this. So I want to start out at least with that. So that is that. The second thing is I'm planning on doing Binding of Isaac. Now, would you guys like to see me continue where I am now? Or would you like me to erase the save file and start from the beginning? Now, fair warning, I don't know how good it will be. I'm thinking, this is my idea, I'm thinking of starting where I am right now and continue on, because I have, I think, like 12 more achievements to get and a couple other things. And then once that's done, we'll start it over. Or get to a point where I'm like, okay, this is good, let's just start it over. Start from scratch. And continue on. Now remember, these videos, even though I personally am not going to be recording them, will be recorded on Twitch's end and transferred later over here to YouTube, so that you guys who cannot come and see the streams will at least be able to watch them. So, there. That's the whole streaming schmeal. All 12 and a half minutes of it. As for other miscellaneous stuff, there's not really much. Like I said, I've come across a couple glitches. My processor, I'd like to get running a little quicker. But for me to do that, I have to buy a water cooler. Closed loop water cooler is what they call it, where you just have radiator, fan, and 2 tubes. And that's it. They're not that expensive. They're about maybe 2/3 the price of my processor. So, I'd like to get that mainly for the Minecraft, because there's a couple of the texture packs that I put on there that I've been experimenting with. I was getting 200 frames per second. So I was getting some great frame rate. But then as soon as I record on Fraps, it drops down to 30 or 60. I'm trying to find a nice balance. Oh yeah, 1 or 2 last things about the streaming. One, at first there's not going to be any rules set on the page. There will be rules, and they're just common rules. No spamming. The no faces I might be lenient on at first, but that might be, just the common sense stuff. Don't be mean to each other and whatnot. The second thing is, when I do stream, the audio quality is not going to be good, because I'm going to be using the free version at first to get things set up and go, okay, this is how we go. Unless I turn on and get their 3-month trial for $15, which I might do. When I do use the free version, over in this corner, about where the microphone, probably down right where my fingertip is, there's going to be a watermark saying XSplit, because I am using the free version for experimentation. So, but yeah, so that's about it. I'll let you guys know of updates on it. I'll probably be home this 4th, just chilling. I'm not planning on going anywhere. Not when, up until Monday, we have calling of severe thunderstorms, and then Tuesday is overcast, and then Wednesday is thunderstorms again. I'm hoping sometime in the near future I got an oil change to do. And here's the funny thing. We'll leave you guys on a funny note. I updated my Facebook for my family about this. As you may know, Jiffy Lube, many companies turn around and do quick oil changes. They tell you, between $19 and $30 for an oil change. Read the fine print, because it turns around and says 4 quarts of oil. Okay? I cannot get my oil changed with my wife's Jeep for that price, because it takes 6. So it would cost me at most $40. Okay? I went to Walmart the other day, bought a high-end filter, which, by the way, they don't always put high-end filters on those quick changes. I got a high-end filter, and I got 6 quarts of oil for $20, $24. So, haha. So sometimes it pays to know how to do things yourself. And as my father-in-law says, just remember to put the oil plug back in when you fill it with new oil. But I'm trying to squeeze that in sometime before it gets, nasty out. It's going to be a 15-minute job, but still yet. So, but this has been WLJK, guys. This has been going on long enough. Remember, new Twitch address, minor change. Note will be on the ending, as well as the upcoming I'm trying to think of the words. The video description. That's the word I was looking for. So I'll catch you later.